Good morning, everyone. I am here in New Zealand, and I just took a walk this morning. I'm up on this high bank of a river. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I'm here for Equidays, and it's really exciting. I'm sorry I'm a little late this week. I'm using my portable Wi-Fi, so I'm not sure how strong this is going to be. If it doesn't work, I'll go ahead and make a video and post it not live, but thought we'd give this a try. New Zealand is certainly beautiful. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about an addiction to action. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. It's one of my own personal issues. There's a reason why I've gone around the world in 50 some days teaching. I like action. I like action a lot. But the thing about freedom-based training is it's not based in action. It's based in being in the right place at the right time and being present and in harmony with the horse. So one thing that comes up a lot after clinics is, what do I expect from my horse after the clinic? What do I expect to do when I go home with this horse? And that's really interesting because we all have this addiction to taking action, doing something with the knowledge that we have now. And a lot of times horses don't appreciate that. They want harmony. They want ease. They want familiarity. Action is something that your horse only wants when it's an action that's in harmony with the horse, or an action that they're familiar with. And I find a lot of us are in this thing where we take action for action's sake. And it's not just people, horses do it too. I talk about this all the time in my clinics. Horses who take action before they think are really difficult to partner with. And I think when we start with something like freedom-based training, we're taking a lot of actions to find out, is this place a good place to be in harmony? Is this place a good place to be in harmony? We're testing things out. So I send people home from a clinic and they get into a place of testing things out. And as they're testing things out, you're going to get a lot of things wrong. So you're in the wrong place, the wrong time for too long. Your horse is going to get irritated. They're going to show you fight or flight, and that's going to put their stress up some more. And it can be a frustrating cycle when we take action after action after action, and we don't really know which action is right yet. We're just testing things out. Speaking from personal experience here. I just walked through Cambridge, New Zealand, stopped and got myself a drink. I'm here sitting above the river. It's a little noisy. I've got a helicopter going overhead. But this action addiction is something that I think is really relevant in our society, in horse training. This feeling that we have to do something, that doing the right thing is really important. And I want to present that sometimes just waiting to figure out what the next right action is better than being in perpetual action. So one of the things I teach in my courses is, if you don't know what to do, just take a walk. Walk a big wide circle around your horse. If you need to go outside the fences, go outside the fences. Just walk. Just walk and think about, what's my next best place of harmony with that horse. And I think that this feeling of allowing ourselves to take action, but not necessarily taking action in the direction of our horse. It's really tempting to put your hand on your horse and say, is this okay? It's really tempting to stand in a place you don't usually stand and say, is this okay? And the more times we say, is this okay? And the horse says, no, it's not okay. Don't stand there. Don't put your hand there. The more times we try things out that don't work, the more we raise the horse's stress. And sometimes it's really important to just back off and take a walk and think about, where is my next likely yes answer, instead of just trying things and coming up with a lot of answers of no from the horse. It's really interesting because in my clinics, I tell everybody experimentation is so important. You need to keep asking the horse what is okay and what is not okay, but you need to do it wisely. So if you keep asking the horse if this is okay, this choice that I made, and the horse keeps saying no, maybe it's time to take a walk. Take a long walk around the field, around the paddock, outside the fence if you have to, and think about, what decision could I make that the horse is likely to say yes to instead of likely to say no to. Now, one of the places this comes up for me is in demonstrations. And I'm about to do a bunch of demonstrations at Equidays today. Gotta admit, I'm a little nervous. Here's why I'm nervous. When I have a lot of people watching me, it's really tempting to give them the action that everyone's addicted to. If I put my hand in the wrong place, the horse is going into fight or flight. I know this. But sometimes I look at the crowd and I go, oh, they're bored. This isn't interesting enough for them. And if my demonstration isn't interesting enough for them, it's really tempting for me to make a decision I know the horse is going to say no to. I know the horse is going to go into fight or flight. And then I create some drama, I create some action, everyone's really happy, and then I get to fix it and I look like a brilliant trainer. But that's not really authentically who I am. The trainer I am is the trainer that doesn't want to create the drama in the first place. So I'm using all of you guys as I drink my tea here to talk about this so that I feel a little bit more prepared. Thank you, Andrea. I'm really happy to be here at Equidays. I don't know if they're lucky to have me or not, but I'm happy to be here. And I wanted to do a little prep time with all of you guys as I drink my tea to remind myself that I don't need to create action for the crowd. As a horse trainer, I tend to become over-pleasing. I tend to want to create some action and then fix the action. Keeps it interesting for the crowd. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to try not to do that. So if I put my hand in the wrong place or I put my body in the wrong place and I create fight or flight in those horses, I want to know that I did it authentically, that I did that mistake actually by accident. I didn't do it because I was bored. I didn't do it because the crowd was bored. I did it because I really honestly made a mistake, and then I'll go back and try and do it better. But yeah, that red button, Andrea, exactly. It's really hard for me, particularly when I'm performing, not to push that red button. The red button on the wall that says, just touch this, just see what happens. This is the addiction to action. I think all of us have it to some degree where we want to push the button and we want to see what happens. And I think that a lot of my students have this when they walk out of a clinic. They have all these great ideas. They have all this interesting theory of developing diversity with their horses. But then you go home and you do thing after thing after thing. The horse says, no, that's not okay. No, you made a bad decision again. And it can be really frustrating to step back, take a walk around the field, work at a distance, say, what personal choice can I make that the horse is going to say yes to instead of no to? So that is that's my personal journey today. I think I have 3 demos to do at Equidays today. I'm really excited about it. 3 different subjects to talk about, horses I've never met. And I got to walk my walk. I've got to do this thing which sometimes doesn't have a lot of action in it. Sometimes it's a lot of self-reflection, reflection on the horses, reading them at a subtle level that may not look like a performance. I'm questioning myself why I'm here at Equidays to perform when the work I do is not really performance-based anymore. The work that I do is horse-based. What is really going to be the best for my horse on this day, or this horse that I've just met? How do I show up for them as best I can? So hopefully I can walk my talk, and I can acknowledge my addiction to action and own it, and then choose to do better. So for all of you who maybe attended clinics with me over the last month in Europe, I hope you're having a wonderful time with your horses. I hope you're not running into this addiction to action that I have. If you are, take a walk around the pasture. Get a little farther away from your horse. Walk on the outside of the fence if you need to. Getting some distance from the horses before you take action means that you're less likely to trigger them. So, yes, absolutely. The more silent the work is, the deeper it is. It's really simple, but it's really profound. And yeah, Christian, that addiction to action, it's not that we're impatient, it's that we like to see what happens next. And we like new things. We just have to be careful that the horse likes new things as much as we do. That's what a partnership is. So, Michelle, thank you. Yeah, performance for people watching is interesting, and I hope they think I'm fabulous. But if not, honestly, it's the horses I want to think I'm fabulous. If the horses like it, I succeeded. The humans could like it or not. My job is to step in and be there for the horses and talk about that. Talk about what that looks like in freedom. Freedom-based training is so slow that if I can put my action addiction aside and really say what's best for this horse in this moment and read their responses, then I can do the best thing for them. Sometimes it will be action. Sometimes it will be matching and stillness. The thing about action is it's not bad. It's the addiction that's bad. It's when you feel like you have to take action even when it's a bad idea. I guess that's my own fight or flight, really. So I've got to settle my own stress levels right into that functional level there. Thank you, Yuta. I'm glad that I am making you laugh. I don't show my action addiction very much because I work really hard at being the patient person that I aspire to be. But I think it's good for all of you guys to know that I'm not perfect. I'm working on it just like everyone else is. So if the horses get irritated, if they show more fight or flight than you're used to, it just means you've made too many decisions that were in the wrong place at the wrong time for too long. And it's time to back off, take a walk, and figure out what the right decisions look like. Freedom-based training shouldn't trigger a lot of anxiety in the horse, but there are too many variables to know that for sure. Sometimes we're gonna trigger anxiety. And then we just have to figure out what happens next. So, good morning, Jane. I get to go out to breakfast with Jane this morning here before we go perform. So, here we are. Here I come, New Zealand. There's the river behind me. God, it's beautiful here. The birds are insane. I don't know if you can hear them. They're noisy in a good way. Sophie, yes. FBT is like a meditation. It is really deep. And it's that kind of meditation that's more about mindfulness than just being still. It's about knowing when to be still, when being still is appropriate, and when taking action is appropriate. I say I'm action addiction. I have an action addiction, or I feel action addicted because I sometimes take action when it's not appropriate. And I would like to continue to develop that so that my choices of action really are for the benefit of the horse not necessarily for entertaining myself or entertaining the crowd or keeping things interesting. Thank you, Sophie. Yes, I'm not perfect. I'm just like all of you. I'm walking the walk and working the work a step at a time with every horse that I come across. And I will keep trying to satisfy my addiction by getting on another plane and traveling around the world to play with the next group of people, the next group of horses, until it's done. And then I will go home and let Ari and Atlas settle me down again. For everyone who wonders, Ari and Atlas are doing really well. My mother and Cameron, my daughter, are taking care of them really well. The whole family is gathered around them, and I think I probably miss them more than they miss me, but we'll see. I'll be home November 7th. I've got a week here at Equidays, and then a couple of free days in New Zealand, and then a 4-day clinic up in Otaki, and I guess that's south. And then I will be headed on to Canberra, Australia after that, and then back home to San Juan Island. So I think that's all I have to say today. My tea is gone, and time for me to walk back through Cambridge, New Zealand, and soak up the sights a little bit more before I head to Equidays. For any of you guys who are here, I look forward to seeing you. I hope you come out and see some of my demos. For all of you guys around the world, thanks for listening to me talk about action and addiction and helping me set myself up for success today in my demos. You gotta remember, it's about the horses more than it's about the people. The fact that all of us love horses is what brings us together. So I gotta keep my actions congruent with what the horses need, not just for entertainment. So thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening wherever you are. This is hello from Cambridge, New Zealand, and thanks for joining me for tea once again. I will see you next week, on Tuesday next week. I should be back to my usual schedule. All right, have a wonderful day.